Welcome to the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Transport Briefing for Friday, March 22nd. Over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we've seen precipitation mainly across the southern areas of the Great Basin. Especially over this last week, we saw good amounts of precipitation in southern Utah, Arizona, and far southern Nevada. Other areas of the basin have seen warmer and drier conditions with high pressure dominating the west. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen only above normal precipitation in the far south. Otherwise, we've seen below to well below normal precipitation. Our snow over the last 72 hours, you can see, has been fairly low. Most of it's been further north and east of our region, and our snow depth is indicated there on the right. And you can see from our snowpack map, our percent of normal, we are generally near to above normal across almost all of the Great Basin. We are seeing the Sierra snowpack start to dwindle a little bit, dropping just below normal in the north. And then over central Idaho, where we have not seen as much snowfall and snowpack this season, the snowpack has been dropping to about 70 to 80% of normal. Our satellite loop from this morning shows a change in the weather. We have seen high pressure dominating with warm, above normal temperatures and drier conditions in most areas recently. However, we will see a breakdown of that ridge as low pressure moves into the west coast today, going into the weekend, and this will open the door for additional storms over the next 7 to 10 days. So for later today, you can see a lot of that moisture, mainly in the form of cloud cover, will spread across the northern areas of the Great Basin later today. And you can see winds will be picking up, so we will see better dispersion across the Great Basin. Winds won't be overly strong, but definitely breezy in the Sierra and on the west side of the basin and over central areas, with most gusts in the 25 to 30 mile per hour range, a little bit stronger along the Sierra front. Mixing heights will remain high region-wide, so definitely good burning conditions. For later today, again, the precipitation, just some lighter showers kind of spreading across parts of northern Utah and into Idaho, but mostly cloud cover today. So as the winds pick up, our relative humidity still remains lower today over western and southern Nevada and southern areas of the Great Basin. As we move into Saturday, we will see more moisture spreading across the region with showers, especially over the northern half of the Great Basin. Still generally moderate winds or breezy conditions, so we will see that ventilation index remain high. And you can see the increase in winds on Saturday, especially for southern and eastern Nevada into much of Utah and Arizona, but also along the Sierra front. So we will see those wind gusts above 40 or 50 miles per hour. And then obviously higher gusts in the higher elevations. Mixing heights will remain high. Precipitation, however, will be on the increase along with increasing relative humidity as the system spreads across. So we will see good chances of precipitation across much of the Great Basin. Some areas that won't see quite as much will be over southern areas, eastern Utah, and then even parts of western Nevada, which might get shadowed out a little bit from this precipitation in the Sierra. Relative humidity will be on the rise. As we move into Sunday, this moisture spreads east across the Great Basin, so most areas will at least see the potential for some light showers, even in the far south. However, we are expecting some of the heavier precipitation mainly in the Utah mountains. Dispersion will remain high as winds remain breezy and mixing heights remain elevated as this system moves through. Transport winds on Sunday will be strongest over the eastern side of the Great Basin from the central mountains in Utah eastward, and then still some breezy conditions out west along the Sierra front. Mixing heights will remain high. Chances of precipitation, again, you can see most areas at least have some chances of precipitation as we go through Saturday and Sunday, and then higher relative humidity. Our 3-day precipitation, again, showing most areas at least seeing some light showers. Obviously, the heavier precipitation will be mainly in the mountains of the Sierra and over central and northern Utah into Wyoming and parts of central Idaho. Far southern Nevada may be about the only area of the Great Basin where some spots will not see some precipitation. But again, most areas at least seeing light to moderate precipitation. As we move into Monday, this system tracks off to the east, but we will see another system by midweek. Transport winds still remain, or is a little bit higher, keeping the ventilation index a little bit higher on Monday. And into Tuesday, kind of weak ridging pushes across the Great Basin briefly, but then by Wednesday, that next area of low pressure already moves into the northwest coast, so we will see more clouds and showers moving in from west to east. And then by Thursday, again, keeping that wetter pattern in place with areas of low pressure continuing to move across the Great Basin late week into next weekend. So the precipitation accumulation for early next week, again, shows just kind of a break in that activity going into the Monday-Tuesday time period with just some light showers, especially heading into Wednesday. And then by mid to late week, again, another system bringing light precipitation to most areas, but those heavier chances of precipitation and some new snowfall, obviously, to the higher elevations of the Sierra, central and northern Utah into eastern Idaho, Wyoming, and also central Idaho. And then the 7-day total precipitation. The 8 to 14-day outlook, taking us from the end of March into the first week of April, still shows cooler and wetter conditions continuing. We could have some drier periods in early April, but again, still looking at an active weather pattern heading into the early part of spring. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back on Monday for the latest updates.